In a single night, he can knock over every trash can on your property, dig up your garden, and disappear before dawn. You've seen him hundreds of times. You thought, just a pest. But his IQ is comparable to a primate's. He remembers how to solve a problem 3 years later, and he visits your trash with the precision of a scheduled appointment, within 15 minutes every time. In 1926, one of his kind arrived at the White House as Thanksgiving dinner. The president opened the box and refused to eat it. This is the raccoon, and he is far smarter than you think. Let's start with what makes him truly exceptional. If you watched our video on the red-tailed hawk, you already know that the animals living near you have mapped your neighborhood in ways you never imagined. The raccoon goes further than any of them. In 1907, psychologist Herbert Davis ran an experiment. He offered a raccoon a locked box, the same design used to test primates. The animal opened it in minutes. Davis made the lock more complex. The raccoon solved it again. By the end of the test series, raccoons were solving puzzles that stumped many primates. This is not a coincidence. The neocortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making, is disproportionately large for an animal of this size. By the ratio of neocortex to body weight, the raccoon sits closer to primates than to other carnivores. Cats and dogs, by comparison, don't come close. But the brain isn't the most important part. The hands are. Each front paw has 5 fingers with extraordinarily flexible joints. He can't retract his claws like a cat, but he can rotate his wrist 180 degrees. He picks up objects with individual fingers, exactly as a human would. His front paws contain 4 times more nerve endings than his back paws. 4 times more than a human hand. This is called a hypersensitive tactile receptor. When a raccoon dips his paws in water, those nerve endings activate even more intensely. Sensitivity increases dramatically. This is why he washes his food, not for cleanliness. He is scanning it. Water amplifies the signal. He reads food through his hands more accurately than he can see it with his eyes. Watching a raccoon eat is watching a tool honed by millions of years of evolution. Every movement of those fingers is analysis, not greed, analysis. And his memory matches his hands. In 1913, zoologist Lawrence Wild tested how long raccoons retained solutions to mazes. The result? 3 years without a single repetition of the task. Full reproduction of the route. Dogs in the same test forgot the solution in roughly 5 minutes. 3 years. He remembers how to open your trash can 3 years after he first did it. A male raccoon's territory in the suburbs spans 1 to 5 square kilometers. He patrols it every night on routes that shift with the season, the temperature, and the food supply. Females hold smaller areas, about 1 square kilometer. They live in groups, a mother and several generations of daughters sharing the same space. Males are solitary, but overlapping territories don't lead to conflict. They have a hierarchy established without fighting, through scent and voice. Yes, through voice. More than 50 documented vocalizations: chittering, whistling, growling, purring, clicking. A mother recognizes her young by sound alone with a precision most mammals cannot match. At night, the raccoon operates on a strict schedule. Scientists who tracked raccoons with GPS in the suburbs of Chicago found that the animals visited the same locations within the same time windows, accurate to 15 minutes. Not approximately, exactly 15 minutes. He checks your trash not because he is hungry. He checks it because he put it on his schedule. Because something was there once, and now it is a point on his map, permanently. When Toronto introduced new raccoon-proof bins in 2016, after years of development and $31 million, raccoons had figured out the new locks within 2 months. Not by trial and error, by watching. One animal learned, the others observed and repeated. This is called social learning, the same mechanism used by primates, by crows, by dolphins. In winter, raccoons don't enter true hibernation, They enter torpor, a state of slowed metabolism, and may stay in their den for weeks during deep cold. But when temperatures rise, they emerge. In January, in February. While you assume winter isn't over, he is already patrolling your block again. In November 1926, a package arrived at the White House from Mississippi. Inside was a live raccoon. She had been sent as Thanksgiving dinner. At the time, wild game occasionally appeared on the presidential table. Calvin Coolidge opened the crate, looked at the animal, closed it, and announced that no one would be eating this raccoon. He named her Rebecca. Rebecca was given her own house on the White House grounds, a leather leash, a silver collar engraved with the words, "Rebecca Coon, the White House." She accompanied the president to the Easter egg roll on the South Lawn, a tradition going back to 1878. Children were photographed with her. Reporters wrote about her. Coolidge was known as Silent Cow, reserved, restrained, a man of very few words. With Rebecca, he talked. He carried her in his arms. He took her on walks. Once she escaped and spent several hours in the guest quarters, overturning furniture and discovering a private stash of nuts belonging to one of the president's advisors. Nobody scolded her. Coolidge laughed. Rebecca lived at the White House until the end of Coolidge's term. When he left Washington in 1929, she was transferred to Rock Creek Zoo, where she lived happily for several more years. One biographer wrote, "He may have loved Rebecca more than any other president has loved an animal in the White House." That was the 30th president of the United States, and a small, clever animal with a silver collar. After Rebecca, the story repeated itself. Raccoons appeared in the homes of politicians, writers, and artists. Mark Twain kept one. Teddy Roosevelt did too, before he became president. John James Audubon, the naturalist whose name is carried by one of America's largest conservation societies, raised a raccoon and wrote detailed field notes about him. What drew all these people? Not the exotic, not the size, not the power. Curiosity. These animals watch everything that happens around them. They investigate, they experiment. They find solutions where others give up. And that is deeply familiar. Biologists who study urban and suburban raccoons have documented the same finding for decades. Population density among humans is several times higher than in the wild. In the forest, 1 or 2 animals per square kilometer. In the suburbs, up to 20. Why? First, food. Humans produce an enormous volume of waste. Trash cans are a predictable, stable, renewable resource. In the wild, food is seasonal and unreliable. In the suburbs, it is available every night at the same locations without fail. Second, shelter. Attics, crawl spaces, the space beneath a porch, these are ready-made dens. Warm, protected, inaccessible to most threats. A female chooses a birthing site by one criterion: safety. Your attic meets that standard better than most trees in any forest. Third, predators. In the suburbs, there are almost none. The only real threat to an urban raccoon is a car. Mountain lions, wolves, large hawks, all of that is beyond the edge of the neighborhood. Without natural predators, populations grow. And here is the paradox. The better humans design the world around them, the more they build, plant, light, and clean, the more comfortable life becomes for the raccoon. He didn't adapt to your backyard despite you. He adapted to it because of you. A zoologist at Ohio State University wrote in 2019, "The raccoon is the only large carnivore whose population is growing across the entire United States. Everything else is declining. He is moving in the opposite direction." In the 1950s, raccoons were rare in cities. Today, they are absent only where people are absent. The next time you find a knocked-over trash can in the morning, Stop for just a moment. This was not a random raid. Someone kept a schedule. Someone returned to a location they logged on their internal map months or years ago. Someone worked with their hands more precisely than you do when you open that same lock half asleep. He is not harming you. He is working, doing what millions of years of evolution built him to do. Find solutions in unfamiliar environments and remember them forever. Calvin Coolidge, known for his silence, his stillness, his refusal to show emotion, looked at Rebecca and smiled. Something in her reminded him of how the world works: clever, curious, relentless. That same animal is sitting in the dark behind your fence right now, or already under your porch. You just know it now.